Hey, we're going in the woods. It's a sunny October day, and so why spend the day in the house? We have a kind of peculiar project today. We're gonna cook some dinner in the woods, just because why not? We're gonna cook beef bourguignon and some bread over a fire and just kind of lollygag in the forest. That's it. It's beautiful out here. Well, here's the location. It's kind of a glorious fairyland of a woods. And we're just gonna walk in as far as we want to and set up camp for the day. There's the whole crew up there. One thing I noticed here is that this woods has a lot of what I believe is yellow birch, kind of a rarer tree in my estimation, and a fun one to see. I tend to see them in kind of older forests. At least that's what it seems like to me. Say hi. This is home for the next couple hours. Hey, you little ones. Got a tiny little stick fire started. And next step, I believe, we might try to make a little table, because we gotta knead dough to make bread. Stay tuned. We're now searching for components for a little table we're gonna make. Early stages of the table.
Hey, Ollie. Lit a fire, heating up some water for the bread. And then Tom is over here working on a table.
A very chintzy table.
I think it's going to be a fantastic table.
Pretty wobbly.
Alright, we heated up the water just a little bit, and then we're going to be making the bread over here on this little makeshift table. So we will see how it goes.
I'm going to try making bread in the woods on this crazy little table that I constructed.
Watch my turn.
Now, the idealist in me would like to live out in the woods and make all my own food somehow, or most of it. So today, of course, approaches nothing of that caliber. We brought all the food out with us and we're just cooking in the woods. But it's nevertheless a fun little exercise. And it's just fun to be in the woods. The kids are having a blast. Hanu is out squirrel hunting in sight of us. And I'm gonna try making bread like this. I haven't made bread except for with like a KitchenAid mixer in a long time. So this is a bit of a change.
I'm gonna make this salad.
The cornflower was peeing.
Was it peeing?
Yeah.
Yeah, pour me a little water. We're getting there. Oop, I hear a squirrel calling out there.
not all the way down?
Sure. It's lovely out here. The kids are happy, we're happy, the woods are beautiful. I'm kneading bread in the middle of the woods, which is kind of a strange thing. I don't know if I ever would have envisioned this in my life, but here we are.
Campsite.
At our little day campsite, yep. In my ideal mind, I'd like to grow more food myself. We moved to a townhome because I'm in law school, but threshing it was where I failed. It didn't work quite so great. But I do like the idea of growing my own food somehow.
Daddy,
What's up, Bolly?
can I see your saw?
Oh, sure. Oliver's gonna use the saw. Bow saw, not a chainsaw. Looks like we got a ball of dough forming. It's kind of fun. I like the idea of cooking over a campfire. It's just kind of enjoyable for some reason. And feels kind of primitive. Sometimes it imparts a nice smoky flavor to whatever you're cooking, especially if you're cooking on the open flame. Today we'll be cooking, we're going to cook the bread, bake the bread inside this orange, I guess you'd call it a Dutch oven, and then we're going to cook the beef bourguignon in a different Dutch oven that we brought. And we'll do it all on the coals. And I guess this is probably the start of the woodland cooking show. Soon, surely, we will be known worldwide for our woodland cooking prowess.
And Daddy, look what I did is this log tree branch.
Good job! The log tree branch? It's good just to let the kids roam the woods and find things and explore. And make things. No electronic distractions.
And no cleaning the room.
Once all this is cooking, I think I'm just gonna sit by the fire and read for a while.
Daddy here.
Okay, buddy, thanks.
Mama, I chopped this. Mama, I chopped this. That's making dough.
Yeah, we're making dough.
I haven't did that by myself. The first time I did this was when I was 3.5.
Oh, how old are you now?
5. I'll tell you the surprise if you let me use your knife.
Okay, what is it?
It's making fruit salad.
Fruit salad? Oh.
Look what sawdust I got, and
But it's gonna be on food.
But I got it now.
What are you chopping up?
Crab apple.
Oh, get the seeds out, okay?
Orange crab apple. Banana. Fruit salad. Made in the woods by Eden.
Pretty good.
And finally, a decent ball of dough. I couldn't recall how hard it was to knead dough by hand. It took a while, but we're gonna let this raise for a while and then pop it in the crock or the Dutch oven by the fire.
Okay, so with the bread, this is our first time cooking it in the fire, so it'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
So the first thing we usually do is cook bacon and get it crispy. One thing we did was kind of cheating. We cut the meat up beforehand. Next time we will come out here and slay a wild boar and make our own bacon. Okay, we are cooking some bacon. I made this stirring utensil. After the bacon cooks and gets crispy, we'll take it out and probably put it on this pile over here. And then we will braise the meat in the bacon grease.
But at least they got to eat.
Didn't bring a slotted spoon, so we are making do. All right, we're adding the meat. Now, I should probably do it in smaller batches than that. It's hard to get it braised in big batches, but I'm kind of lazy. Could you give me some salt?
Oh yeah.
Actually, you can have 5.
Okay, the meat, for our purposes, is about done. Ideally, I would get a little crisp sear on the outside, but you know, when you're woods cooking, sometimes things aren't ideal. It still looks pretty good. Okay, we take it off. Try not to get leaves in there. We take the meat out, basically piece by piece. Now we took the meat out, and now we add carrots and onions, and we cook those in the juices. If I remember right, normally I would take all that kind of broth stuff out and just cook these in butter, but we're doing it this way today. So now we cook these down, and then we're almost ready after this just to put it, and we just do this till they're soft. Then we're almost ready to put the lid on and cover it in coals and cook it for 2 to 3 hours. These things have cooked down or softened up a little bit, the carrots and onions. We added a little garlic to simmer in there as well. And now we add the meat back in. And then we're gonna add some beef broth, some spices, some tomato paste. We'll do it all one at a time here. So, mix that up. Tomato paste is ground up tomatoes. We add a little beef broth. You know, there's probably some recipe someplace that tells you how much, but I'm more of a dump and pour kind of guy. So it looks about right. And that may have been a little bit too much, because in addition to beef broth, we add dry red wine. My guess is about 3 cups of dry red wine, maybe 4 cups. Ultimately, when this is done, you want the meat just barely covered, a couple pieces sticking up, and that's when you cook it for 2 to 3 hours. So, in addition to the wine and the beef broth, we are going to add some thyme, a bay leaf.
What if we take bread in it?
Bread in it?
Yeah.
A little more salt, some black pepper. All of this is basically just to taste. And then we're gonna bring it to a simmer again, of course, and then put the cover on and let it cook in the fire for 3 hours. A little more garlic, I would say. And then we're done. Do the garlic in a little bit here. Okay. I got the tomato paste. I'm gonna use my trusty old wooden device here. And I don't know, some recipes say 1 or 2 tablespoons. I always make it a little heavier on the tomato paste. Gives it that depth of flavor that I like. And then we're good. We're gonna bring this to a simmer and then put it in the fire. Our bread raised quite a bit, so now we're just punching it down per usual and gonna let it raise again. And then once it raises for another, I don't know, probably another half hour, we will, and that's what it looks like, a nice little ball of dough. We will put it in here, probably cut some slips on top, honey, little seams, I don't know what you call them, and then cook it in the fire. We are currently cooking the beef bourguignon in the fire, and one issue is temperature regulation. It was just boiling like crazy, so I took it out, and now it's just kind of simmering on the side. The French stew is just about ready, and so one of the last steps is to that's a lot of butter, but we're going for it, to cook up some mushrooms in garlic and butter and get those. I like to get them kind of crispy if you can, and then add those on the top of the stew. And then we're going to eat stew and dip crusty bread in the stew, and hopefully it's going to be good. What you doing, Hanu?
Stirring this.
What is it?
Mushrooms and onions.
Yeah, the onions.
Height up what we call it, beef bourguignon.
Yeah, we screw up and call it beef bourguignon.
But I say it's beef bourguignon.
Should be beef bourguignon. I'm terrible. I should be able to say it better than that. Keep going, Hannah. Keep stirring that stuff. We want to get those mushrooms cooked. And Mama's over there knitting. We're adding the mushrooms, which didn't really get crispy, but we got some browned up butter and garlic. We're adding the mushrooms on top with all that goodness. Now normally you would also let this cool and then kind of spoon off the extra grease, but we're not doing that today. And there it is. That is the finalized product.
Yay.
Quite a bit, and now we're just gonna cover it in coals and hope for the best. First look at what the bread might be. Oh my goodness, look at that.
That looks pretty good.
A little burned on the top, but pretty good.
Wow.
That was kind of surprising.
We should bring it over to the table and maybe plop it out on the rack. Okay, here's the bread. Oh, it looks amazing. Look at that. That's incredible.
We'll look at the bottom a little bit, buddy, okay?
Yeah. All right.
How is it?
Really good.
We forgot spoons. Well, somehow we brought 3 spoons for a family of 5, so Sarah's using chopsticks.
Now we got